presence doesn't appear. We thank you for what you've done for everyone in this place, God. Because we're all going through one thing or another. But Father, we had enough courage this morning to come and lift our hands and give you praise. In spite of what we're going through, God, we bless your name. I put the devil on notice right now. Your assignment is canceled. I speak by the express power that was given to me by the Son of God. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Praise his name. Yes, yeah, you can't get it.
I thank God for the Spirit of God. I thank God for the Holy Ghost. I thank God for salvation. And I thank God that I don't look like what I've been through. Thank the Lord for my wife. Amen. My pride rib. Amen. I know it was God that had her to say what she said to me this morning. No one was in the prayer room with me. I said, God, I need to know you're with me. I thank God because he let me know I am with you. Gave me strength to preach what I have to preach this morning. I've been struggling with this message the whole week. I've been saying, Lord, I don't want to preach this. God said, preach what I told you to preach. I would read it and walk around the house and walk to the mailbox saying, Lord, I don't want to preach that. The Lord said, preach what I told you to preach. I was laying in the bed and I was thinking about it. I said, Lord, I don't want to preach this. He said, preach what I told you to preach. Have you ever had a word that you had to say to somebody, it just shook you to the core of your bones? Because you know God is not playing. Yes, sir. Hallelujah. He said, preach what I told you to preach. I said, Lord, how do I do it? He said, he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. I couldn't write no notes. Because the Lord said, everything I say today is going to be directly from him. I don't want you to have no notes. I don't want you to intervene on what I'm going to say. A lot of times God will give you a word and you will tell people what God said and then you go behind God trying to straighten it out. Amen. Trying to save face with people. Amen. But God said, preach what I told you to preach. I said, Lord, have mercy. The Lord said, listen, I'm trying to bring blessings through the sanctuary. But if you don't preach this word, you're hindering the blessings of the people. God wants us all to know that he loves us with an everlasting love. He said to me, I heard, I forgot who the preacher was that said it. Rick Warren said it. He said, I asked God, how much do you love me? And he said, God said to him, he said, I love you so much, I'd rather die than to live without you. So I said, Lord, since you died for me, I take that personal. Since you died for me, and you died for everyone in this church, you know what you're doing. You know the word that you're sending forth is authentic. Because everything he's going to say going to line up with the word. I bless God because blessings are being held up in the air. Folks are wondering why they aren't being blessed. It's like a cloud of blessings being held up in the air. It's like the cloud is so heavy till it wants to burst. But God said it cannot burst until you speak this word. Amen. Once you speak this word, everyone that receives it, every blessing, every prophecy, every bit of promise that I gave you, I'm going to let it loose. And when I let it loose, he said, don't be afraid. You're not going to die. It's just your season.
Speak it. You know the truth.
God said this. He said, I want my people to know. When I ask you to do something,
gotta do it.
Do what I ask you. He said, now you are the husband, man. You have to be first partaker of the fruit. So what I'm asking you to do it. So I said, Lord, I'm sitting there. I kept looking at it, kept trying to find something else, kept looking at it, kept trying to find something else. The Lord said, what did I say? Then my wife wrapped me with the shawl and prayed for me and said, the Lord said, preach his word. So I have to preach what God told me to preach. Because if I don't preach this word, you won't get your blessing.
Right.
If I be a man of God, and I am, this is coming directly from God.
All right.
Jonah, the 3rd chapter, and the 1st verse. Then we're going to go back to Exodus, the 3rd chapter. We're going to start reading at the 18th verse, but we're going to Jonah 3:1 first. Now I know a lot of people, they haven't been in Jonah in a long time. So you want to look between Amos and Micah. Amen. Amen. We bless God. I feel the spirit of heaviness lifting in this place. So this is a word in due season. Hallelujah. I give you time to get it. Jonah, the 3rd chapter, the 1st verse. Now, if you can't find Exodus, we need to sit down and have a prayer service. Amen. Praise the Lord to our visitors that are here today. We thank the Lord. My brother prayed this morning. I always call my brother or Apostle Bradley or my Uncle Bubba when I get ready to preach a word like this, because I need to know somebody. I know y'all pray for me, but I need to know that men of God are pushing me. Because this word right here, listen, my grandmother told me, she said, if you don't find yourself in the word that God gave you to preach, that ain't the word. Because God is not going to go around your situation to deal with somebody else. And the Lord said, you see what I mean right now. I'm trying to get you to preach this word, and you've been struggling with it all week. Jonah 3:1. And the word of God reads, and the word of the Lord came unto Jonah the 2nd time. And the word of the Lord came unto Jonah the 2nd time, saying, arise, go unto Nineveh, that great city, and preach unto it the preaching that I bid thee. Now what did the Lord tell me? Preach the word. And the word of the Lord, I want you to get this in your spirit, came unto Jonah the second time.
Second time.
That means the Lord had already spoke to him once. Gave him instructions. And he didn't want to do what God said. The scripture says Jonah went down to the docks, got on a boat, going to Tarshish, trying to get away from the word of the Lord. Now, if you look at your map, you see from Joppa to Tarshish, that's like all the way across the other side of the globe. He figured if I get far enough away, I won't have to do what God is telling me. Everybody in here, God has given you an instruction at one time or another. We only want to do the things that we want to do.
Say that.
We only want to do the things that make us look favorable in the sight of men. But what about the sight of God?
Right.
I'm a person that I love for people to like me. I'm a people person. I want people to know there's not a mischievous bone in my body. I love everybody. But sometimes God will push you to the outer limits. You hear me? When you go to sleep, you keep hearing that word. When you wake up, you keep hearing that word. When you go to the grocery store, you hear the word. When you ride down the street, you look at the billboard, you see the word. You turn on the TV, somebody preaching the word. Lord have mercy. God. I know you want me to preach this word, but can't you just give me a couple of weeks? No, I want you to preach this word. And the word of the Lord came unto Jonah a second time. Once God got Jonah's attention, the scripture says Jonah went and got on a boat, paid the fare, went down in the boat, and went to sleep. So when Jonah went to sleep, say a tumultuous storm came. It was so bad to the idol worshipers started saying, everybody call on your God. We want to know how. You ever had a storm to show up out of nowhere? Everything going fine. It's smooth sailing, and all of a sudden, boom. So they threw stuff off the ship, trying to make the ship lighter, hoping that it wouldn't capsize the vessel. But it seems like the more they threw off, anybody in here got something they need to throw off? The more they threw off, the worse the storm got. They started looking at each other saying, whose fault is this? That this storm came upon us like this. Now, if you go to the book of Acts, Paul said, an angel of the Lord stood beside me last night and said, if you stay on the boat, you'll live. That's right. At the end of that story, it says, nobody left, but the ship was destroyed. That's right. So, but they all came in on broken pieces, on boards, those that couldn't swim. God said this. He said, everything you've been through up to this point has been a storm for one reason or another. Sickness, lack, marital problems, children going crazy, job laying you off, job just shutting down, cars breaking down, all kinds of stuff. It's a storm. Marriage is just dissolving. It's a storm. But God said, I am above the storm. I control the storm. Now, according to how you listen to me, that tells me how bad you want the storm to end, or how much worse you want it to get. My God. And the word of the Lord came to Jonah again, a second time. Said Jonah went down in the ship and went to sleep. Said he went in one of the sides of the ship and laid down and went to sleep. Isn't this something that every time somebody calls the storm, seems like they're the only one that's able to rest? They're the only one that's able to lay down and go. Folk will come tell you their problems because they know you pray. And they'll go home and go to sleep. And you are all night long praying, fasting, reading your word, trying to get a word for them, and they're home sleeping.
Amen.
Or they're Saquon eating.
Amen.
But God's saying today, I'm tired of talking now.
My God.
I've been asking you to do it, and you won't do it. He said, so now what I'm going to do is threaten you with your blessings.
Jesus.
My God, my God. He said, according to how you receive this word, oh, you better speak Holy Ghost. It's how your blessings will be released. Now, if you want to obey sporadically, you'll just get sporadic blessings. You know what a sporadic blessing is? You ever seen them things, they hook up to the water fountain, they go like that? Oh, I see one in the spirit. And when you were a kid, you ran alongside of it trying to get wet. But if you weren't fast enough, you would miss it. And you have to wait for it to come around again. The Lord said, you don't want to miss this blessing. Because when it comes by this time, it'll be a long time before it come back again. And the word of the Lord came unto Jonah a second time. So Jonah went down inside the ship and went to sleep. All that rocking and reeling.
Yes, God.
He was sleeping like a baby.
Thank you, Jesus.
The first man asked, is there anybody else on this ship that should be calling on their God? And they remembered Jonah had came on. And see, Jonah told them, they said, where you going? Well, I'm going to Tarsus because I'm trying to run from God. That's what he told them. You read the scripture, it'll tell you. He told them, I'm trying to run from the Lord. Don't you know no matter how far you run, you can't outrun God?
Amen.
He's everywhere.
Amen.
All the time. He hears everything. He knows your thoughts that you're thinking about. You don't even have to speak them out your mouth. He knows them.
Amen.
He's an all-knowing God. And the word of the Lord came to Jonah again. A second time. He said, Jonah, it's a man down there in the side of the ship. Don't you remember he told us he's trying to get away from God? Yeah, go get him, Jonah. Come on up here. They went and got Jonah. Said, what you doing down here sleeping? And we up here trying to figure out what's going on. Jonah said, well, listen. I'll tell you what's going on. All of this stuff is happening because of me. This whole storm is because of me. So why is it when folk do crazy stuff and God start dealing with it, they act like they don't know what's going on?
Well.
Jonah said, it's because of me.
Yes.
He said, I tell you what you do. Still trying to get away from God. If you throw me over the side, the storm will stop. If you throw me over the side, the storm will stop. There's some people in our lives. We need to throw them over the side.
Well.
Don't you know everybody's not meant to stay in your life forever?
Right.
Some people just in your life for a season.
But we hanging on to them.
But our problem is when God trying to get us to let go of something, we playing tug of war with God. He's saying, give it to me. You know, I don't want this. Give it to me. No, I got to keep this. Like Mom Mitchell said last Saturday, it's killing me, but I can't stop eating it. Some of the people that we're trying to hold on to, they're killing us. But we just won't let them go. I know they've been your friends for a long time. Then some of them even members of your family. David said if it had been somebody I didn't know, I could have handled that, but it was my friend. The one that put his feet under my table and ate my food. Don't you know the devil is so divisive that anytime he come at you trying to destroy you, it's going to always be with somebody that's close to your heart.
Amen.
That's true.
The devil has damaged some of us so bad till when God does send a blessing again, we scared to take it. Because we still think about what happened.
Right. Yeah.
Could have been 15, 20 years ago. He got you scared to take the blessing. God said, I have love. Y'all better hear me. Because I don't have that. Do you see the love up here? God said, I got love for women right in this congregation. But they still in the past. They won't let the past go. Then you got some. Please, God. Please. And I ain't just talking about in this church. I hear you, Holy Ghost. Some of us, men and women alike, we marry somebody and try to make them pay for what the other person did.
My Lord.
You better hear me.
Hallelujah.
God said, how do you expect me to send the love that will bless your soul when you won't let go of the past? He's sweet, I know. Dark clouds may rise, strong winds may blow, but I'll tell the world wherever I go that I found a Savior.
Yes.
And he's sweet, I know. If you know he's sweet, why won't you trust him? I trust you for this, but I won't trust you for that. I gave you this, but I'm going to keep this right here. And the word of the Lord came to Jonah again. The second time. When they threw him overboard, he just knew, this is it. I drowned. That way I ain't got to go to Nineveh. So I still win. But the scripture says God had prepared a big fish. Jonah just knew he was there. He said, I outsmarted you this time. You ever try to outsmart God? Have you tried it? I have. It don't work. It don't work. Because, like he said, I know your thoughts.
Right.
I know the thoughts that you had. But then, like I told you Tuesday night, he said, I know the thoughts that I think towards you.
Yes, sir.
Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Not a horrified end, an expected end. So why won't we trust God? And the word of the Lord, woo, I hear you, God, came unto Jonah a second time, asking him to go to Nineveh. I ain't going, just go to the other side. I know what I do, so I ain't got to do what they say. I leave this church. I hear you talking, Holy Ghost.
Sorry, Scott.
I leave and go sit somewhere where don't nobody know me. That way I don't have to do what God is telling me. I go sit in a congregation got 5,000 people. That way God will not bother me. When you get over there, God will be saying the same thing. I thought I told you.
My goodness. Amen. Go ahead and tell the truth.
God said there's a bunch of people in here. I was one of them. I refused to do it.
Right.
How you doing? But you know what I was saying at first? I was saying, everything you asked me to do, I did it. When you told me to move from Virginia back to New Jersey, I did that. Then you told me to move from New Jersey to Florida, and I did that. Then you told me to move from Florida to Georgia, I did that. Then you told me to move from Georgia to California, I did that. I said, Lord, I have not been disobedient. He said, yes, you have.
My goodness. Lord have mercy.
He said, yes, you have. I said, how, Lord? He said, I told you. Shh. I told you I had blessings for you. And you keep asking me, Lord, if you're with me, prove yourself. He just told me again, I'm with you. Hear me when I say. God said, I'm tired of folk not taking me at my word. I believe God. I believe him for everything. So why won't you let go of that thing he wants you to let go of?
Right.
If you believe in the way you say you believe in, why you won't let go of that thing that's killing you? Well, it could be a child. It could be anything. You've seen the Ten Commandments. That man Dathan, if I was with them, I would have been killed him a long time ago. Every time they turn around, Dathan turn around, we need to go back to Egypt. I told you we should.